Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Marketing Cracked. So today I'm going to be talking about the one thing you cannot get back. Okay, welcome back. So we are of course going to talk about time, because you can lose a certain amount of your health and then you go to the gym, pound away on the treadmill, eat some vegetables and get some of your health back, in theory, and it can sometimes happen. You can also lose money, but of course you can get a second job, you can work harder, work smarter, whatever, and to a certain extent get money back. But of course, unless you're Marty McFly or know how to slingshot around the sun, you can never get your time back. So I thought I'd share a few things with you about time management, things to watch out for and things to implement in your business. So the first thing is meetings. We all love meetings, don't we? Goodness me, I'm sure we've all had bosses that love meetings for meeting's sake, and absolute waste of time having meetings unless you can work to an agenda and an actual start time and an end time. Otherwise it can zap your life totally. But I could do a whole video all about meetings. Not a big fan of them. So talk about firstly people who are late. Now, because we're British, maybe we're too polite to say something, but if you agree to meet someone at a certain time, whether it's business or personal, both parties should turn up on time. If they don't, it's basically saying to you that their time is more valuable than yours. Now, of course, someone could be stuck in traffic, there could be an accident. The first thing is obviously make sure everyone's okay. But if they're just late, it's just like, it's not on. So with my guys, when they're going to meetings, if they're kept waiting, they know they can't be sat there for more than 15 minutes. If they're sat there waiting more than 15 minutes, they're to get back to the office. And if that person they were supposed to be meeting does want to see them, they have to come to us. So it's just a bit of rudeness, to be honest. If you think about it, someone thinking it's acceptable to agree a time and they simply can't be bothered to turn up on time. Now, people will moan about traffic, but I remember years and years ago, one of my first jobs, I was stuck in traffic. Arrived, got to my meeting, I said, oh, sorry about that, I'm sorry, I'm a little late. Traffic was bad. And the guy said to me, traffic's always bad. And that line just killed it for me, and obviously there was no sale at the end of it, and he was absolutely right. So I think people who are always running late, it's just a warning sign to me that they don't respect your time enough. So something to be aware of. Now, of course, now we'll plan to be early for a meeting, but you've got mobile phones, sit in the car, do some work. It brings opportunity. It's not like you're sat there twiddling your thumbs. Do some work, walk into the building, maybe 5 minutes ahead of schedule, and Bob's your auntie's live-in lover. Another thing about time, sending proposals. Now, if you're in a service-based industry like us, you might have a meeting and more often than not, the person isn't or can't commit to making that decision there and then because of pricing or whatever. And yes, there's a whole load of things you need to do about pre-qualifying meetings and making sure all the decision makers are in the room, of course. But sometimes people, I want a proposal, I want a summary of your ideas, some options of what you can offer me. Now, nothing worse than say, okay, I'll have a meeting with you, brilliant, so you spend an hour doing that, and then, yep, I'd like a proposal, great, so you spend 2 hours doing that, and then nothing. We've all been there, even the best salespeople in the world. So if we're doing a proposal, if we think we can help someone and we think we can work with someone, then yep, we're more than happy to put a proposal together, but what we will do is say, when can we expect a decision? And do I have your permission to contact you to chase on that decision? And you've got to get those nailed down, because otherwise you're just left there hanging in the lurch. Now again, I don't know if this is a British thing, but a lot of business owners seem to think that, oh, I don't want to use these guys, the proposal, the quote was too high, whatever it is. It's easier to let them down gently by totally avoiding all their calls and not seeing their emails. Oh, sorry, I've been so busy, I didn't see your email. Yeah, I didn't have time to reply to your email. Didn't have 1 minute to type out, sorry, no thanks, not for me. Most business owners would rather have a no than a think about it or than be left hanging. So if you are going to spend your time meeting and putting a proposal together, nail down a few modes of rules of operations so you know that, yeah, I'll send you a proposal, you get back to me. Another one that could be a real time vamper, a real drain on you, is the phrase, can I just pick your brains? Now, talk about certain people here, maybe you know a person who I'm talking about, that's, oh, they're on the phone, or maybe it's in person, or maybe it's networking. Oh, could I just pick your brains for a minute? What they are absolutely saying, consciously or subconsciously, is, can I have lots of free advice off you? Now, yeah, we're nice people. We all want to help people. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's someone you've networked for years. But sometimes if you get asked a question and you provide the answer, you are training that person to carry on asking questions. That could even be an employee of yours. So if this person, oh great, every time I ask Andy for some advice, he gives it to me, brilliant. They're just going to be calling, not all the time, but the compound effect is that over a month, over a couple of months, over a year, that person has actually eaten into quite a bit of your time, hence the phrase time vampires. So my little alarm bells go off when someone says, oh, can I just pick your brains for a minute? It's like, well, I'm happy to charge you my consultancy or help a couple of times free of charge. Then comes to a point where, you know, you've worked for 20 years to get the experience and knowledge you have. You need to put a price on sharing that knowledge. So in that phrase, can I just pick your brains? That is really important because that 4-letter word, just, is the most expensive word in business. Now, an example would be a client saying to us, oh, could you just send an email for me? Now, yes, happy to do that for you, and here is a price. And it's like, what? No, I just would like you to. It's just a quick job. Just usually means someone's perception of a job is a lot different to the actual reality of what that job will entail. So an example is someone wanting me just to send a quick email. Firstly, I have to take your database. I have to import that into MailChimp, Constant Contact, whatever it might be. I have to design a templated email if we haven't got one saved already. I have to obviously populate it with the content. Oh no, it's just a couple of lines. Okay, I will still have to proof you, and I guarantee you want to change something in those lines. Or, oh, can I just add a paragraph? You do that, then you have to schedule a time to send it out, and then that person, rightly so, will want feedback on how it went. Did you get many unsubscribes? How many people opened it? How many times did people open it? So just sending a quick email is actually one and a half, a 2-hour job, hence why we charge what we charge. So if anyone says, oh, could you just, or it's just this, it's something to sort of bear in mind, because it means there is that difference in perception. And talking about emails, be careful how and when you respond to emails. Now, when we started up a business, we replied to an email straight away, and it was Sundays, it was Christmas Day, no matter what. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, you are basically training clients, potential clients, colleagues, whatever it might be, that you are at their beck and call. Now, if someone repeatedly emails you on a Sunday afternoon and you get back to them, guess what? You're telling them, yeah, it's okay to contact me on a Sunday afternoon. Maybe it is. Maybe you've got a premium client who you say, listen, you call me when it's your mother's birthday. I don't care. I will respond to you no matter when. And that's fair enough. But if you do that for everyone, that compound effect will seriously impact upon your productivity. So another example would be maybe how quickly you respond to an email. We had a case where a client forwarded us an email they'd sent an hour previously, and they forwarded that email saying, just checking if you received that, just checking if you received that, because I did send it an hour ago, and usually you're really prompt to respond. Now, certainly not that client's fault, it was my fault. So if you do respond to every email within minutes, you are of course training that person that you will respond that quickly all the time, and that's a big precedent for your business. And again, in terms of your productivity, it can have a big effect. So that's a quick thing, a few tips about time, because it is again the one thing you can't get back. And I think there are certain processes in a business, certain tools that we use. Maybe a lot of us are slave to emails, and I think a lot of us are certainly slaves to time vampires out there. And there are certain people, unfortunately, as well-meaning as they are really, unfortunately, being a drain on your business. Oh, got all heavy then. So that's it for today. I'll see you soon for another edition of Marketing Cracked.